Sorry about that. I clicked something, the screen went out, it came back, it had it in the corner and it said it was trying to connect or whatever, and then it had an end option in the other corner and other stuff on the screen, and I couldn't figure out how to get it into normal mode again. So I decided I'll do part two. It was getting a bit long. I'm kind of multitasking a little bit. Pardon me about that. And part of the reason is because I just booked a doctor's appointment and there was some very powerful stuff. This is a shared channel, so Glenn, I think, should see at some point soon. And honestly, even though some of the topics are hard and maybe a lot of people benefit from it, I think that it is worth trying, really trying, tenacious to watch as much of it as you can, because I liked how I was saying what I was saying, and I thought it was powerful. And hopefully it posts. I think the fact that I was able to click end the stream and restart, although now I'm doing this one while that was processing, I hope it posted. I really do. There's a part of me actually that wouldn't mind checking, and I might do that, and the viewer just left. So whatever. Sure, we're in here very long. This is under 2 minutes. May have been something, an emergency came up or whatever, right? You never know. Just kidding. But and bracket question mark. Oops. This still shows me putting on my hat. And for some reason, it's in the live category. Yeah, it's there. It says stream 4 minutes ago because that's when I guess finalized it. But yeah, so I don't need to say things that were already said. And anybody else that sees this that's curious, it's in the topic of the channel name, the video topic title. I'll get there, I promise. I also hate when you search certain locations and that's not what it shows you. Yeah, that is a bit of a better picture. I don't remember it being next. I don't remember the balcony on that building, on the building next to it. I'm not sure if that's familiar to me. It's not what I was picturing. Excuse me. But yeah, so basically, I got a little bit long-winded, distracted happily so by one of our viewers, but then they had a phone call fairly early on. Someone I was never mine, but it's okay. It happens. Maybe there's something important going on. It's nice to have a nice connection. But basically, yeah. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about my day, because even though I could go for 11, it's 10:30 now. Now that I've got this doctor appointment in that area and don't want to have to, and we'd be doing it all on foot, don't want to have to go and come back and go again. I can wait. I think 12:30 should be good enough. 12:45, I can wait, and it's usually quiet in his office. I saved somebody's phone last time I was there. Guy had a little kid, and the kid didn't want to sit on the other side of him. He wanted to sit close to me. It's about 4 or 5. And I don't know why kids are so enthralled by me, even when I'm not really doing anything in particular. I think in some ways, though, I kind of think kids are just like that. Like they're just kind of like taking people in, like we all do, but don't know that maybe it's not great to stare. But I mean, it's not the worst of things for any of us to do to anybody, really. I mean, and there's various reasons to do it. So, whatever. But he was kind of on his phone and didn't notice. And then he wanted to get his shoes off. And then I'm glad the restaurant was fine about that. And then he walked to the restaurant, which was nearby. And then the other one was like right on the other side of a table, kind of odd, but it has to be somewhere, I guess. Like but like the entrance to it should have been down a hall or something. But kind of an old building, I think. But anywho, he put his phone underneath him. I think when he got up and went up with his kid, he almost didn't notice. So, but anywho, so I've got some time to do this and then relax for a bit, and then yeah, I'm going to take care of, because I couldn't find the place we were going to go to that was too far away. I couldn't find them on Skip, so I could find something similar probably. I guess it depends how hungry I get. Like in that, get if I leave at 12:30, get down that area around 1:30, 1:40. Now I better leave at 12. I think it's an hour and a half away. Morning's going somewhat fast. We'll have to see. I should also call him before I leave, because then I'm going to be out until like 3:30 or 4, which is just before he leaves. We'll see how it goes. But in the other video, I talked about, dealing with loss and ways to look at life a little bit and stuff. But yeah, I just don't like the discomfort. I don't like the discomfort. Whether it was connected to the stuff I was feeling about a month and a half ago, or it's something different. And yeah, I do notice it. Although it's not like that cake was overly sweet. Sure, it had and it worked on kind of all right. It was like jam on a biscuit, because those biscuits are fairly easy to overcook. I think I put them in for a minute, and there was a couple of kind of burnt spots, but it was mostly edible. And so I was wanting to kind of have a bit of that cake anyway, and it wasn't overly sweet. And I put it on the biscuit, so it was like icing and strawberry on a biscuit and some butter, actually, because that happened first. Then I realized, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess I was planning to eat both of them. Point of the matter is yeah, and I said, well, I do that, and but it may not be a good thing. Maybe worth just kind of skipping breakfast if I don't want to have, or don't have handy breakfast or whatever, and then just having an early lunch. I mean, I don't sleep in unless it's on the weekends anymore. But yeah, and I kind of trailed off from a thought in the other video where I was saying, life has kind of changed since the pandemic for a lot of us, but some people have bounced back, and for a while I did, but the reason I don't go to the group anymore, and I feel like I saw a post in the group about that. But anyway, about something like that. But and I, even though I have the internet, now I have a phone that only uses Wi-Fi, and I never. I guess did I always use data then? Yeah, because I never had Wi-Fi in my building, or Wi-Fi that was any good. But and I would just be so lonely, and you would be too, to be honest. I think so. But anyway, point of the matter being, even with the, I'm going to go out today. I know we went on that night, but yeah, and I get money. Although I maybe should ask for it back because I didn't end up ordering from there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could place an order from one of these places. I still have 2 reasons to go out later. I could place an order. Doesn't have to be from that, but no, the one that it found, even though it's not exactly what I typed, was not near here. The delivery fee is going to be outrageous. I don't even know. I didn't look super carefully because I didn't want to get talked out of it and turned off of it or whatever. But I just knew that it seemed like a pretty good place. Not necessarily the nicest inside, kind of cool looking outside. A lot of good reviews, although maybe new. And that's the risk is when you look at them and they're mixed. But yeah, you can't avoid certain places just because they make certain stuff, because most places will. But there is a part of me, but now I feel like, but we did make some really good money. As long as we pay bills, put some in saving. But there's a part of me that if it wasn't for the triggers, the real person, I would totally think that pizza place kind of knew where I'm going to be today. They have pretty good pizza. It's another one. I'm surprised that it's still in business with some of the things I've heard, but I think it's the son that has now. But still, anyway, point of the matter being, I was mumbling a little bit just in case we have locals watching, and I wasn't clear about it, so you don't know what I'm talking about. And he does have more than one person. What's his name? So, This is a really good view I have. Just the way the computer is. I haven't moved it much. But what I'm trying to decide is if I want to try and browse such places and maybe just not order from there. They have a menu on their front window, and it's a mix, but there are a lot of poor people around there too, like some homeless, which connects to something else later. But I thought maybe it's just a preview, and the preview should still include the prices. But maybe they figure most people would be able to look it up on their phone. So I kind of got myself talked into going there again. But I've been thinking about this kind of food for a while, and I'm hungry. And but it's not specific. And yeah, well, like that. But so is Chinese food, really. As long as there's not black beans in it, and I can't guarantee that. But okay, I don't really want to click that away, but if I don't do anything about it, does the other stuff load, and will it still let me do stuff? There are subs with a subtotal of 30 plus before taxes and tips and fees you get by March 30th. Order, I think it's probably there too, though. 7,000 skip points. Just want to look at categories for a moment, because I did pay them. Then I don't remember to get that $20 back. They changed the kind of the icons look like they're not real images; they're like clip art or whatever. But you know, then I don't have to ask for the money back because I've ordered off a skip. But if I don't, then I will. And that's the other thing. New does not only show new, and it makes me like, it feels like there should be an arrow. See more, especially since it's only partial. Oh, I see. If I'm scrolled the right way. It's that thing I do where I either want to load all the way up to the top or to the very end of the row and then work my way back. I think both my mother and my aunt, I guess that's as far back as it goes, even though it's clickable. They both, whenever they do read magazines, start from the back. A lot of times I remember I'm just looking. Okay, well, there's a specific category for that. Most of it, though, not that I'm fully against it. And again, I don't want to get hugely into this topic. Now, the way that check marks makes me think that I could possibly select another one. Okay, maybe I was scrolled up. No, I wasn't. Not quite, but it's still. I prefer it when it was at the sides as opposed to above in the corner. I don't know whether to. Well, but I'm not vegan. I don't. I like pub food, Chinese juice and smoothies. That's all of them. Okay, good. I didn't want to be more overwhelmed than that. What is there though? Out of curiosity. Yeah, I'm not that much into it. What is this? Trending videos. Happy Gilmore. Okay, burgers. So the other category would be healthy. That's weird. Oh, well, it's not 11 o'clock yet. I'm going to try and reload these at 11 o'clock. A lot of those places will be open. And if I ordered it, it would probably get here. I know people are like, why are you doing a video of you ordering on Skip? It's because I'm multitasking, that's all. If I ordered it at 11:30, probably get here at 12. If I'm not having to also give myself time to eat, then it would be, I'd eat at 12:30, then I'd go. He's being really good knowing I'm home being here, but he likes it in there. And then I don't know any reacted. The reactions didn't actually show up in there. They show up because it's open, but they don't show up in the drop down. Go at 1, do the other thing. Probably take me to 1:45, get there at 2, be 15, 20 minutes early. Sure. Yeah, it could work if I can. So I'll try and actually finish this before then, and then I'll just do that, and I'll do that. I'll call them quickly, and I'll do whatever on the internet. And then I almost feel like there was something I wanted to ask him, but I can't remember what it was. And then, skedaddle. I don't want to be impatient, but there's so many things that I'm in limbo about or waiting about or have never come to be or whatever. And that's made me not only have to be patient, but want to be less. It's like, no, if I have control over it, and I mostly would, as long as the order goes well, I'm just worried about the extra fees. And if we get to be over $20, so much over $20, I mean, I still have some leftovers. I might order a couple of things though. Plus the delivery fees, it will tell you that I won't. But anyway, just really quickly, sorry for that distraction. I don't remember if I selected for after the fact for the live chat to show. I think I did actually because but I think I did. The screen's running out for minutes and from 15-ish. 15 minute essentially. But yeah, because I covered some of the other stuff. Although again, part of me thinks you should see it. And then enjoy the nice day because it's the first. I don't think it's considered the first day of spring, but it's the first nicest day we've gotten. There have been some all right days, but it's still the warmest we've gotten so far this year. But and I said I do if you're paying attention. So I'm going to buy a homeless person a beverage. I could do what the other ones do and buy them food too, but we sold some items on the weekend and made some pretty good money. I honestly think we got 400 cash, and that was just the in cash part. And I really think it honestly sounds most fair. Everybody's thinking about that, and I'm glad I got something, but that to me just makes sense. 200 each. I mean, I was there part of the process. Was it necessarily making it more difficult? There's a part of me that wants to just check to make sure that the sound is working because I feel like I slightly moved the screen. And if I did, that's it. Whoops. That's interesting that we have a comment from somebody in a group. And somebody just tuned in. I'm just doing a sound check, but you're welcome to tell me that it's working. But this will just be quick. And then I'm thinking what I'll do is I was just, like I say, noticing, okay, so I remember the places. Why is it saying connection is weak? I mean, those are the advertisements to put some. Okay, it works. Okay, just because it might bring somebody in, because there's a lot on YouTube, and I don't know, sometimes that seems to be the difficulty. Although somebody just tuned in, and there's been some good moments lately. Time and say Dr. Protect it. Maybe I'm kind of worried, but you need to push yourself. I'm just going to very quickly write to somebody the following. Our dog's name is Sunny. The viewer left. Booked one for this afternoon. I am doing a YouTube video right now on somebody else that saw me mention it, liked the comment, but didn't seem to come and check it out or didn't say anything on we have a viewer. I'm just finishing up a comment on a post on something, and then I'll be right with you. I'm almost done. Yeah, like I said, well, you left. Well, screw you then. Okay. If you're able to watch. I don't think I need to say in pick, but I will anyway. And I'm pretty sure that's accurate. It's nice that she's in Canada, and that's a Red Coffee Cup, but the name Mama Digital Creator, we're all digital creators. Huh, wonder if she's wearing much behind that see-through cloth. Sorry. I'm bad. What can you say? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I can see it. I can see it there. Okay, sorry about that. And I know I said so as somebody tunes in, this guy was 30 minutes ago. I don't know if it's Sunny or somebody else. That sounds so weird to say that because it's also a dog's name. But there happens to be somebody, Cher's ex. No, just kidding. I think that's how they were connected, right? Yeah. Tuned in. Just kidding. I'm not planning to be up here for much longer, and I do want to let the dog out for a bit. But then again, I do want to look at after this. So, yeah, earlier when I came up here, I thought I was going to be up here longer, and I wasn't really, but now I am because I decided to do a YouTube video. Yeah. Okay. So, I kind of addressed the health stuff in the previous video, and how, yeah, I mean, even though I commented in that group, it's not necessarily fully related to this. The other video was a bit more so because I really do wonder. I don't know if other people, they're just either older or because they have it more in the family, they got diagnosed before they started feeling symptoms, or what it is. But, and the person at this one agency, she let me vent a little bit. It's true. And even though she didn't say much, she is saying to watch the website, which I should do. It's just not remember to do it. I was approaching it because I'm so ready now. And not, even if things don't change that much and I'm ready later too, well, I mean, if I have it, then it's always going to be on my mind. And I mean, my friend, that passed of diabetes, I mean, it was always going to be on my mind. So, I mean, and I have a tab open in one of the many tabs. I don't know how I got that many. And I mean, because these days I try and review some. I do close them sometimes, but yeah, it's in the Windows. I really don't know. With the Windows, sometimes it's I start with one thing, and before you know it, okay, there's 5. Okay, well now I can't close it. I try and move things around. I don't know, just the way it is. But you know what? The thing works pretty good, so it's all good. Sorry, I just said all that fast, but really, I mean, I'm just kind of thinking out loud in some ways. But back to the topic. I mean, I feel like I'm exerting so much energy, I'm making myself not feel well. But if I have a good lunch before I go, even though I will have eaten heavy, it's a 15, 20-minute walk. I can take my time. If that lane is too icy, I might have to go longer. But, and actually, yeah, right. But, and then, yeah. So what's the plans for the day? Is, it's unfortunate because they actually did finish up before 9:30, I think, at the food bank. I can see it from a window. Actually, it's down a little bit, but I'm not associating. I'm kind of avoiding something like that. Some I wouldn't be, but because of the ones that I am, I'm not going there. Anyway, point of the matter being is that I am starting to get tired of my own voice, though. I was just talking over an hour there, and that's probably the longest at one point in time. At one point that I talk, and even most of us that are media, well, I don't know. I mean, I do have a lot of quiet time during the day too, and I'm usually home on my own. So I mean, even if I'm talking to people, it's online, and so it's not always out loud. So, and I guess that icon was just indicating a like reaction. I don't know when you like, but that's my smiley face. I didn't want to put it afterwards. I wanted it to stand out. I didn't want to basically feed her, suggest I wanted her to have her own reaction. But she's very busy, and she may have just came in now. I don't know, just a scene. It does a sense sometimes, a little bit, sometimes specific, blah, blah. Anywho, so the plan is to. It's a bit of a trigger, but again, you know what? It's not all bad. It's a bit disappointing. It's not all bad. And so, yeah, if I happen to need it, I'll go to it, and then I'll get more familiar with them, and then who knows? I could say that the first time yes, it was the second time. That's a really nice one. That I was in there, I saw someone I was kind of familiar with who I don't really want to run into, so I would probably wear a mask. But anyway, basically what I'm going to do, I might have lunch at home first. After all, you never know. Like, I thought, okay, we narrowed it down out of 2 only, thankfully, to the place we were going to go for dinner. I thought it was in decent enough walking distance. And we could have pushed ourselves a little bit, but then we would have been with full bellies, walking back. Although he always does it, but technically only a 2 month race. But walking back, and we get back later. I think we got home at close to 8, and it just wouldn't have. And the place was there, and honestly, it looked nicer on the outside than I remembered it looking. I mean, it's not far from home, but I haven't been that direction in a while. Really, I just really don't leave home very much. But now that it's getting nicer, or at least I'll bike around a bit more. That's something I have to get my bike looked at. I don't think I'm going to tune up because that'll be too pricey. I'll just say, but I'm worried that they might fix the thing that I think, kind of been struggling to fix, and will the fix stick? It seems to be the thing that goes over the tire, the hub or whatever it's called, rubbing. It's not causing, unless the sparks are underneath it and it's wearing away the tire. I don't know. I almost wonder if it's worth getting those off, if that's what the problem is. And as long as I can get it there on foot, I really don't want to have that. I mean, she's working and she goes going to ride. But it's a possibility. But right now it's too wet. But it doesn't really matter how wet it is if she's bringing me. But I just don't know what the parking is like there. So, but I decided I think I'm going to look at that next week. Because I'm kind of eager to get onto the bike and get it in working condition. But I mostly need it for our festival coming up, theater festival. But basically, excuse me. I don't know why it still says only 13 minutes ago, because that's what it said before about 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. But anyway, I do want to get downstairs soon, though. I don't know if I'm going to want this back on first. As long as I follow the cord and I hold the center, but trying to get that back in, I think could be I don't know. I just don't want to risk it. I'm almost hesitant not to unplug this. This was flashing the other day because I guess it's standby mode. Anyway, sorry. So, about a 15-20 minute walk. I would say shorter than where we almost went last night. But yeah, I didn't know that that's where we were going to end up, right? As we were coming. And so basically, welcome. So you never know. But today, I mean, up until like when I did the previous video, I didn't think, maybe I'll just order something, like in and stay home and eat first. But that was partly because I didn't have that doctor's appointment booked. And now that I do, and it's a little bit later in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, I'd have to wait longer. And I guess I'm just wanting to have something healthy and filling and have a good lunch. So I'll be able to look in a few minutes. The lunchy type restaurants will open. Some of them are really only open for lunch and dinner. So but again, I don't feel like it has to be something specific. That's the thing. But I'll look. But anyway, basically, figuring out lunch. And then 2 videos ago, 2 videos ago, I was talking about the homeless community and an area where there's quite a few of them who I will hope, not because it's ideal, but that they aren't just being fake, but they are actually homeless. Chapstick, if you're wondering. I know it's that color, but it just is. But yeah, basically, I actually don't know if I'd like the feel of in any way because I think it would feel heavier or something. I don't know. Anyway, point of the matter is that and I think I'm going to stick within my means. I might let them pick the place. Honestly, I might, because honestly, any of the places there don't feel hugely comfortable to go to. It's all the same plaza, but I can manage to do it. But yeah, it isn't a trigger because of this agents thing. But so I will, you know, hopefully it'll go something like this. I'll arrive there. I'll be able to tell who's the homeless folks. I'll go up and, it would seem redundant or silly to say, hey, how you doing? I mean, you're homeless. I mean, maybe you've had nice interactions. Maybe something nice has happened. Maybe you're good at trying to see the beauty regardless. That reminds me of a guy who used to play one of the pianos they had in one of the malls, actually, and kind of where they otherwise have the Santa stuff. And yeah, huge Jesus Love Me sign. And anyone who ever went downtown, especially that one, like coming from a certain direction, near the top of the one street, primarily, or at least that's where I always saw him. Yeah, he had that sign, and he held his faith, and maybe didn't always feel that love, but he put it out there. Not everybody's gonna accept it, because of religion or whatever. But anyway, just kind of go up and say, but yeah, I feel like I shouldn't just jump right into it. I feel weird saying, "Hey, friend" or "bud." Although, if we're thinking about Ray, it felt in a different way than my step did, but she used to like to say buddy a lot. In fact, I almost thought that her boyfriend's post on her wall where they said buddy, but it wasn't even close to, well, was it maybe babe? What was it? I can scroll while inbox is open. I know I saw it. I'm quite sure I saw it. Where is it? Did he get rid of it? Yeah, no, because that's not it. It was for the birthday. I swear I saw it. Maybe it's like, no, posting this. I mean, I have to accept that she's passed away, but posting this on her birthday just feels too real. I'll just say it to her. He did sound like he believed in the afterlife. Yeah, because I don't think it's there anymore. Whatever. So, whatever. So, oh, really? So you don't want to distract you from your video if you think you're trying to really focus today and you have some plans. And I hope you have a lovely day, my friend, buddy. She says. But thanks for the tribute posts. I never said, but that's just not a word I use. But you're welcome, bud. She says that's the spirit. So, but anyway, so mostly of my own loved ones. It's just how it happens. So anyway, basically, but it's just enough just to get through everything I'm trying to explain here. So yeah, I feel called to do this, and I don't have to get them food as well. Somebody else who is more well off. And I almost feel like on this post, I maybe said something about the plan. I did, but he just came in and said his comment, which, I appreciate that he said it, and hasn't said anything since or seen that picture or any of it, but whatever. I'm going to click this because, I mean, it showed, oh, he's back online. Well, you never know what can happen. So, you got to make the most of moments while you can. But anywho, so yeah, I'll just go up to them and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that, I see you, I get it. And I feel called today to buy. I don't know if I was by somebody else afterwards. I don't think I'd do it. Might say already done that good deed today or something like that. Because the point of the matter is that right now there's one income in the house. Like I say, we sold some stuff on the weekend that gave us some money. Like I say, I think it makes sense to split the 400 into 200 each, but I don't have a lot of needs, but I mean, and you can't pay bills with cash anyway. But I I spent some last night, although it almost seemed like you was going to pay, but I didn't realize that, and I had the money. And then I gave him some in case I were on skip, which, like I say, I'm getting kind of hungry. Even though I ate a little bit, it was nothing super nutritious or filling. Not to sound ungrateful, but I mean, the body knows that, my mind knows it, that I'm not being ungrateful and that it wasn't nutritious and filling. But so I might order something, get it, eat it, and then pretty much go. I wonder how he's going to react to that Mother Grave. He's going to jump and give kisses or whatever, the dog. Or if he's like, no, I know you've been in the other room. Why have you kept me in the crate? But it's just, we live on a corner property and there's a school, there's a church. Church had something going on this morning. It's just been very busy. There's still 2 cars along the back there. We're posting 2 different ways. But anyway, basically, and just kind of say, hey there. I just wanted to say I see you. I get it. And I'm feeling called to offer to buy you a drink of some sort. And I think if you've been homeless for a while, you eventually just, I mean, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to rush into a desperate key, and I don't know if that's because if they think you look like a street person, they say no. I don't know. I mean, they might be worried about people doing addictions, but you never know who's going to do that, really. In the washroom, and still, you could like make sure that if you don't come out, we'll have to call the cops. So from the washroom. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's then of course you're making a threat to somebody, but well, you came out, so it's all good. It's just we can't have you tying up the washroom. I'd be tactful and not say doing whatever you may have been doing, other than using the washroom, but some people wouldn't be, even cultural people perhaps, but even people who are not good English. But yeah, so basically I'll just go up and say, what would you like? And if they say, this may be where it comes in, may not. I feel like I'm experiencing it. Think about it, talk about it, but whatever. But they may say, can I get something to eat as well? And I'll say, I'd love to be able to, as we can recommend. But, heart. Is it my friend from India? Who is it? He's the one that I kind of, when was on the previous one today, that I kind of expect might be here. But anyway, and just kind of say, I'd love to be able to. However, I only kind of recently came into a bit of money. Once it's gone, I don't have my own money, and it obviously feels very good to have it. And I know it's not a lot, but I want to get myself something as well today. And I'm happy to get you a drink, but that's all I can do. And I mean, I would hope that the person's understanding of that tells me where to go. I mean, like you say, as the viewer goes, there's no place in that plaza that's necessarily better than another place. I don't know. Yeah. And, when I think about it, you can't just go up to the place and just say, I'd like a drink cup for the fountain. You have to place an order first. And then I think you get a drink included, or at least you can do refills. There's somebody now, certain things. I think you can't just make it rare, but you still create your own. But because not everybody likes everything that's in something, which you're kind of paying for anyway, perhaps it's expensive. But anyway, well, that was nice that I got hearts. I don't know who they came from because it doesn't indicate anybody's watching. unless he's messing with my mind again, because I think he kind of did that the one time. But it was, he admitted it was him, and he chatted, and it was good. But that was angels. But anyway, so I'm going to do that. And see, the thing is, I know it'll likely feel good, and I might want to get that feeling again. And I just, we're not terrible off, but we're not super well off either. And even with the nicer weather coming, I mean, we got to just make sure that our food and our bills are taken care of, and that we don't become homeless too. I mean, and I do and don't believe in karma, because I've been a good person, to the best of my ability most of my life. And even though not everything is bad, I've had a lot of struggles. Sure, a lot of times I've not felt able to do good. So as the video two ago said, this is something where all I have to do is go there and do it. I don't have to rely on somebody else allowing me to get a volunteer position, to do a role, to reach out to me, to get, whatever it is. I can just go and do it. So, and again, it will probably always be that easy. I mean, there was a part of me that didn't want to do it for the first time alone, but as that video said, I'm just going to go by my gut. And yeah, I'm getting tired of hearing my own voice even, but just going to go by my gut. If it feels right, it feels right. If not, I'm there for an appointment too. Whether I'm there for lunch as well, I don't know. Nearby. And and honestly, I mean, I'm not a person. Maybe I feel like need one. Maybe I feel like they need one, but we don't have to hug. If the person asks for one, I might. But this is where the anxiety comes in, and I'm worried that, like, how much is a meal? Some people that homeless people, they might look at the rest of society that's not homeless as like just being stingy. And depends what their story is and how understanding they are, and blah blah blah. But I guess I slightly worry that they might stab me. Again, though, it might be a matter of going with their gut. Maybe I'll just quickly hold their hand. Although if it's a guy, I don't know if he'd be open to that. I don't know. But yeah, once I do this, I might want to keep doing it. And yeah, he makes things work do this, but I should look into it. It's on the incognito tab on the other cell phone. But it's I've been thinking about doing it for, well, not constantly thinking, but wanting to do it when the nice day came here, and weather-wise, and hopefully in general. So I'm going to do that, and then I have my doctor's appointment. So kind of just to, if it's not obvious already, say why this is a wellness type video. I wish I had the energy to play those two songs I thought of earlier, since I thought of them, but I just don't. Now it's almost been 2 hours worth of videos. But yeah, basically, it's because eating healthy is important. It's because doing nice things makes you feel good, and hopefully makes other people feel good too. Those are the two main ones. And I'm deciding to go to the doctors. They already have my test results. They just have so much that they're dealing with, and I guess they figure if people want to be on top of it, they're on top of it. Otherwise, whether their body is telling them to be or not, or just the being is telling them to be, or whatever else is telling them to be or not be. I think they leave it up to the other people to chase after them for the answers, if like you've done some testing and you're wanting the results. In a lot of cases, anyway. So yeah, she said they already have it. The fact that I understand they just booked a doctor's appointment, but she also didn't really, and I kind of sort of acted kind of like I was curious. So the fact she didn't have anything to say might mean that there's nothing to say. But then I'm very wondering. Like I say, I talked a bit about life and mortality a little bit in the previous video, but not so much in this one. But basically, the thing is that I know that some people are. That's better, more straight keyboard. Heavy. But I did just fine. Medical mysteries, and I don't know if I am one, but I don't know a lot about diabetes, but I do feel like, and I've already surpassed her age. I guess I'm. Oh no, I'm not that much older than her. 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8. When she was like 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8, and 9. I'm 5 years older. But yeah, basically, I don't like the discomfort, and I'd like to know what's going on. I'll say I can tell you what my guess is. I definitely think that there's I hate um I mean he'd be happy to watch it back with me, but he's not otherwise going to go and look for himself because I don't know. He keeps busy with hobbies. The evenings go fast. Now the garden weather is going to be starting, but yeah, basically. So I don't know about him hearing this part, but I do think I have the live chat feature enabled though. So I guess I would say if there's anything you'd like to comment on anything that's set up to this point, go for it. But otherwise, nobody's here at the moment, so I'm going to try and get this out. Well, I could say it to the doctor too, but I don't know. I feel like I might be having some issues with my kidneys, stage 1 kidney failure, something like that, or liver. Um, I don't know if I've had a mild heart attack or stroke, and the symptoms I've been feeling is numbness and heaviness of the hands and wrist area. Like not, I wouldn't call it arthritis. Like it feels like a circulation of fluid retention issue. And I used to get it quite a bit in my lower leg. I also get the sore feet thing, but it just and because it goes from head to toe, I don't know. I get the sense that this doctor is a pill pusher and not always the smartest. I mean, I know that they try not to make appointments super long, but I just feel like I guess I get a slightly disinterested sense from him, and that could just be his personality. But basically, yeah. I mean, the feet is almost daily, and I'm not on my feet, other than at home a lot of days. Like, I mean, I don't do most of the time I've been doing the videos. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm kind of used to it, and in a way, it's not painful. It almost just feels like a constant foot massage, like you just somebody always kind of putting pressure on the feet, but it's not painful. But but what is kind of been annoying me is the lower back or lower sides, I guess, the chest feeling tight, feeling weak, and I'm not even always doing that much. Um, and I'll maybe watch this back before I leave as well. And I find that if I'm laying on my right side, it sometimes for less. But I also like to sleep. But if I'm laying on my right side, I what's his name? I can't do it for like more than 15 minutes, and it starts to feel tight and like as a tug or whatever. But then if I lay on this side, even pressure or whatever, it's fine. But yes, it's mostly been the hands and the weird sensation in the hands. Like every now and then, your hand or your arm or whatever fall asleep. I don't know if I've ever had my leg fall asleep. You shake it or whatever, move a little bit, and sometimes it's almost constant. And it's just I, I asked the agency, they didn't really say, and the people in the diabetes group, they kind of just joined just to learn and just whatever. They seem to kind of be saying, just go to a general doctor. But yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not much about pills and side effects and this and that. Like the money drugs, but I think a lot of it's in the mind, mostly. Um, so I would say, is there a naturopath? Naturopathy. I don't know the difference between that and homeopathy. Naturopath? No, that's not right. It's like natural, but I don't think there's an L. Hopefully, it'll figure it out. The typo there. Naturopath and between a naturopath and a naturopath, they look like the same thing. The second result says, "What's the difference between a naturopath and a naturopath? ND and MD." What I wanted to know? Naturopath doctors have broader scope of practice than homeopathic. They use whatever medical means they deem necessary to achieve the goals of holistic medicine. Okay. I don't know if that definition helps or not, but there you have it. So I do want to plug this in soon too. I do want to let the dog out for a little bit. I do want to figure out my meal. And I don't think, I mean, what did I say, 12? If I leave at 12, I get down there 12:15, 12:20, especially since I'm moving a little slow, 12:30 maybe. I do the thing, maybe first, get it out of the way. 1 o'clock, 1:15, 1:20, 1:30, 1:40, 1:50. You know, it both does and doesn't feel like it. I know initially I was thinking about 11 o'clock, but I'm kind of thinking, and I'm avoiding delivery fees. I'm just thinking out loud for a moment about something in my day. I'm kind of thinking that it in the viewer left, whatever. I mean, I guess it'd be a pretty quiet video if I wasn't thinking out loud, but as opposed to just saying stuff and thinking something through. Because it's not likely by the time I pick it, I think that's what it is. By the time I pick it and order it and it gets here, I don't have as much time. But all I have to do is go into one of the places quickly, just say I'm on my way actually to a medical appointment as well. Hopefully it says I'm good, but I do hope things improve for you. I'd love to have an outreach program or agency or whatever, but I just don't have the means. And I don't know a lot of people or people that I feel would be able to help with that. So this is me doing my part. You know what I mean? I must say, though, a lot of their prices are quite expensive. I might take a quick look, but then some of the things are cheaper. And again, I might just not be able to get best triggers. But I'm going to take a quick look and skip. So I'm going to finish this off soon. So I've said why this relates to the title, if it wasn't obvious, but I think at times it should have been. I've also said the plans for the day. I've also said a little bit about me. And I think I'm going to wrap this up because I want to do that, see if I make progress, see what it'll usually tell you approximately what time the delivery, how long it would take, although it is getting closer to noon. But as long as I get it before 1, if I really have to, I don't want to be in that area longer than I have to be. I think it would make more sense, or I'll do the other thing afterwards on the way back. 2, 2:30, 2:40, 3, 3:15. I should try and talk with them on the phone, even though it messes a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up, keep it under an hour, barely. And sorry I was a little bit distracted, disorganized, but yeah. For me, anyway. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, okay, thanks.